Hi there, my name is Madi and I am a Colorado knitter. This is my YouTube channel all about knitting, making, today a little bit of sewing. Moose is in here today, so hopefully he just snoozes the whole time. But if you're new here, thanks for checking me out. And if you keep coming back, I appreciate you so much. Hopefully you enjoy today. I don't feel like I have a ton to share, but I'm sure I'll end up blabbing about yarn and knitting a bunch. Let's see. So the past couple of weeks, we've had family, we've had birthdays in the house, we've had a major snowstorm. So it's been full and busy. There was even cancellations for school because we got about 20 inches of snow, which is it's a lot for any time of the year here. We rarely get that much at one time, but it was beautiful, and now it's sunny and it's melting quickly. I'll go ahead and get started. So I am wearing the all fall sweater by Casual Knits. Let's make sure that I'm saying that correctly, and I will link everything below. Sometimes it takes me a bit to get it up on there under the description box, but it will be there. And if I forget anything, just let me know and I'll answer any questions. The all fall sweater, this version I knit as a test. Yeah, it's from Casual Knits. And I cannot pronounce the name, but it looks like Natalia, and I'll make sure I link it below. But I test knit this, and this is where I learned a lot about my row gauge and why it matters. This was a bottom-up sweater, so it certainly did matter, and it could have been a bit more oversized. I do like the fit, it's very comfy, and I wear it often, but it would be nice if it was a bit longer. The other thing, let's see, I used Ritual dyes. They're worsted weight, so I believe it's Elder held with a mohair in the color chestnut, and the color, I adore the color. What I would have done differently is I actually did the sewn bind off. I think this would have benefited from doing the actual tubular bind off, because it would be really nice to have a kind of a dense folded, or the appearance of a rolled in neckline. But I was getting low on yarn, and so this works really well. Super comfortable, super lightweight, highly recommend it. I actually will make another one with more of the oversized, paying attention to my row gauge. But all right, so let's see, what have I been doing this week? I don't have a ton finished, but I feel like this week I've really been focusing and trying to pay attention to the way things fit, and maybe figuring out why they fit the way they fit. So one thing I did this week was, this is a very old sweater that I knit for Donnie, and I do remember not enjoying the way the pattern was written. I don't even recall what pattern it is, but it was for a man's sweater, and it's a raglan. But when he wears it, I'll make sure to put some pictures up, but when he wears it, the back goes up, and he has pretty broad shoulders, so I think what I could have done while I was making it, before doing the bottom hem, I could have added some short rows at the bottom just to make the length okay there. And then the other thing is I used Shelter, and the neck, I think I snapped it when I was binding it off. So it was just a huge neckline, but it kind of was torn there. It over the time felted itself, so it wasn't coming unraveled. But I didn't have any more of that yarn, so I actually used lichen and lace held double, and it's kind of cute with a contrast neckline. And this is the example of actually using the tubular bind off, where you actually do 2 setup rows and then you do the sewn bind off. And I'll link Roxanne Richardson's YouTube channel where she talks about, or she compares the three finishes for a 2x2. So she shows how to do a sewn bind off with 2x2. She has a sewn bind off where you convert the 2x2 to 1x1, and then she has the tubular. And she had a lot of reasons of why this was her favorite, and so I say go check that video out. It was really good, and I'm glad I did it here. So now what I'm going to do is probably do it on the sleeves. And this guy's been shaved, but he still looks pilly. And this is Brooklyntweed Shelter. It's old though, like probably 9 years old. So it's doing okay. But I will change the sleeves. Also, when he's wearing it, they seem kind of short, which I think just happens with the elbow and then how it settles. So I'll probably add at least another inch and make it in this dark color. And then I can't decide whether to leave the hem alone or not, because I do think he would benefit from some short rows. I do not have this gray anymore, so I'll have to think about that. But I'm happy with the before and after of the neckline, which I can put a picture of as well. So I think Donnie needs more short rows to make sure that the length is correctly in the back, because I don't like how it goes up in the back like that. Let's see, what else did I finish? I finished Folk and Fox Gilded Pages socks, and they are gorgeous. They've been blocked. I got to take a picture of them because these are going to be released really soon. This is a very easy lace pattern to remember. Very fun to knit. I did notice that I used a US 1 9-inch circular needle the whole time, and I do feel like pattern socks are easier on my hands if I did magic loop. So the pattern on one needle and then stocking it on the next. But I didn't want to change things up for the second sock, so I used a 9-inch circular needle. It's 3x1 ribbing at the top, and then a really cute Latvian braid, which there's a link to a YouTube tutorial on her pattern, and there's lots of other ones. I used even Mathematician's channel to see how to finish the braid so that it looked really pretty, and this is where they line up. It's not too bad. But the braid is very fun. The first braid definitely took me a minute, but the second one was much quicker. It's a really pretty, it's a little snug. You know, you can feel that it's there, but once it's on, I feel like it's kind of nice because then they don't droop. But the heel cuff, let's see, yeah. The heel flap, turn, gusset are really nice because if you can tell, it has 3 stitches of garter on each side of that, which results in a very beautiful pickup, I think. And so I had started another of Summer Lee's socks for her Colorwork club, and I wanted to compare her heel flap to the look of this one, but I really love the way that 3-stitch garter on the side looks, and it makes it very easy to pick up for the gusset. So go check these out. These are beautiful socks. They'll be out soon, and I really enjoyed knitting them. I used Sunday Fiber Co. sock yarn that I got at Knit City for my first yarn festival, and it's an amazing sock yarn. I have used it for color work and now for this lace and texture, and it's way up there on one of my favorite sock yarns. All right, so let's see, what else do I have listed down here? Okay, so Donnie had his 48th birthday, and that was part of the motivation to finish the collar for him. But I knit him a swatch. He's been wanting, Donnie likes pretty crazy loud clothes, but he never matches, and that's pretty funny and always has been his style. So he likes to wear all colors at the same time, but he's always wanted a color work vest. And so I looked and looked and looked and finally found an older pattern by Mary Mucklestone. Let's see if I can find it. And I had to purchase it on Interweave. Oh, I bet it's on the iPad. Let's see. What is it even called? But for his birthday gift, I gave him a swatch of the vest. And he had picked the colors that he wanted to have, because we went on and looked at Jamiesons Spindrift yarn, because it's a fantastic yarn to work with and for color work. And so we found the Fall River Vest by Mary Jane Mucklestone, and it's gorgeous. So we only changed a few of the colors, and so we're going to use a gray that I don't have next to me, but for the mane, and then we will, which is this top part, and then this is the swatch, which I love. I wasn't sure if the motif of the circles showed up well enough, but I think it does. And so I used Gudrun's method, where I just knit it one direction and broke the yarn and then started again. So this is not even finished off, it's just open stitches there. But the colors, so I don't know if you can tell, but so I think Fair Isle has where the back, see how the back colors actually change, the background colors? There's a dark brown and then a light brown, and then down here there's actually two versions of tan. I think that's, and the X's and O's are, I think, are also very reminiscent of Fair Isle patternings. So I'm very excited about this. I'm gonna finish a vest that I'm working on right now that's a test knit, and then I'm gonna put this on the needles. He had multiple years of casts and crutches because he had a hip disease when he was young, so his shoulders are really wide. So what I think I'm going to try to do is cast on for the bottom, the smaller size, and then when I get to where his shoulders and chest would be, I think I might move either to a bigger needle or to one size up by casting on a few stitches under the arm. It's a steeked project, so the armholes and the neck will be steeked, which I'm excited about also. But it's I love it. It's beautiful. And I think you could wear it with anything. The colors that we changed from the pattern will be this gray, which will be the ribbing, and versus that darker brown that's in the pattern. And then he loves this kind of blue, which I do too. So that was a new addition for us as well. But very excited about that. So more swatches I did for Colorwork. I had mentioned before that I was tempted to do the Yokey Dokey tunic, because I picture it with like jeans that are kind of rolled up and boots, and I'm not a big dress person, so I don't picture myself wearing with tights, but I could. But I wanted the tunic idea, and I actually think it would be nice, like if we're sitting in bleachers or something in the winter, to have it kind of go beyond the bum. And so these are my swatches, and I still can't decide. So if you guys have an opinion, let me know. But there's by my face. I was originally drawn to this one, but you really can't tell the motif very much, which maybe I like. The white, I don't think that's a good, I don't think this one's for me, because I'll get it so dirty. And then this is, so these last three, the actual design is the same 4 colors, or yeah, 4 colors, the bottom 3. And then, so then this last one I was trying to get it to see if it was better popped, but I'm not sure if I like it so dark. So still thinking about the Yokey Dokey. Super fun swatching, because I could just leave the stitches live and then change the combo of the colors. these, again, I use the Gudrun's method that she taught us in a colorwork class, where you just break the yarn and then start over, so it mimics knitting in the round. But yay, I love my swatches. And this is also in Jamiesons Spindrift. I bought those colors off of, these are from Schoolhouse Press, which is Elizabeth Zimmerman's family owns it, and it's really kind of cool. So and then these yarns were from Maker and Stitch online and the Woolly Thistle. All right, let's see. Okay, so I had some more gauge issues. I'm pretty excited to be testing for Tori Yu. I've never tested for her before. I have made her Manhattan beanie hat and loved it, but I am having issues again for my gauge. So I swatched. I really made a big old swatch. It's actually right here, and I was holding two skeins or strands of Brooklyntweed Loft together, because the pattern calls for worsted weight. The gauge is 18 stitches per 4 inches, and so I got this far, and the whole time I'm like, it feels super dense in my hands, but then I soak it and it feels a little bit better, but still very dense. Like knitting in the round should be speedy, but down here I was getting, like, my hands were kind of getting tired. It was dense. So re-soaked, remeasured. I'm at 17 stitches per 4 inches. So it's too big. And so I think what I'm gonna do is I'm actually starting over, but I think I might try to salvage this and try to adjust the fit so I would take this sleeve ribbing out, and I would go back to where I divided for the sleeves and only maybe cast on even half of the stitches here. So then it would be a snugger fit there. I might put some pictures up for you guys, but my closet was a mess when I took them. So I'll see if I can hide that. It's really cool. I love the marl look, but it needs to fit right, because that's my goal, right? Is to get gauge and to have things fit well. So I want to wear them so it's comfy. Again, it's a little stiff because it's so dense. It doesn't weigh anything, but it's stiff. And so I thought for sure holding Loft Double would be like shelter, like a good worsted, but maybe it's making a heavy worsted. So then I looked in my stash, and then I found some Brooklyntweed Imbue. So I have it here. It's American Merino wool in the color ash. And this says it's worsted weight too. And it says the gauge ranges from 4.5 to 5 stitches per inch using US 7 to 9. And so this is more of a worsted spun, and I was kind of looking for that woolen spun, but so I first tried what I did this time, since I had swatched and it lied to me, I started the back. So this pattern, you start the back and then you pick up for the fronts, and then you join the front, and then you join it in the round. So I started the back on a US 8, which is what I did with the Loft held double. And the US 8 in the Loft gave me such a dense fabric that I didn't want to try to go down a needle, but I was getting 17 stitches per inch. So I thought, okay, this is a little bit of a lighter worsted weight, and let me see what I get with the same needle, but I got 19 stitches per 4 inches. So then I tried a US 9, and I still feel like I'm not quite on gauge, but I laid it even on the back of the current vest I have, and it's a smidge smaller, so that seems to make sense. and I think I'm getting 18 stitches per inch. These have both been soaked. So I keep trying. The fabric feels so much better in my hands. It's definitely not as dense. Imbue's beautiful. It's softer. So hopefully this is on gauge. The vest itself doesn't take very long, so it's gonna be a great project when it's released. I believe it'll be released in December by Tori Yu, and it's such a great staple. She offers a V-neck version, which the V-neck is beautiful. The ribbing is seriously 6 rows, and that's it. But the V-neck is beautiful. The ribbing is beautiful. I love like the look of the rolled neckline. But she also offers a crew neck version, which is really fun. So we'll see how that goes and if I can maintain gauge. Let's see. So the next thing, I talked about a smidge when I showed you my Gilded Pages socks, but I couldn't resist and I started another leg of a sock, which I have a zillion sock legs, but I had purchased this Zerball a long time ago, and I think I showed you this treasure because it was from a thrift store. And so this is the Zerball, and it was $1.99, which is amazing. But I put it in the freezer for few weeks and I've been using it for this leg. So I actually don't know what the main color is or main sock yarn is. It was already wound up in my stash, but this is what this guy is doing, and I love it. And so this has not been soaked. The main is a US 1 German twisted cast on with 3x1 ribbing, and then the color work is a US 2, so 2.5, I think. Is that right? Let's see. No, 2.75. I think it's actually, it might be a US 2.5 for the color work, but I love how it looks with the Zerball. So what I can't decide is do I make both legs match or just go for it and continue where this one ended. But this is the one I want to compare Summer Lee's method of her heel flap turn and gusset to see what I prefer, because that garter edge is really nice, but I really love how this is playing together. So that's super exciting. That's really pretty. Let's see. Okay, the next thing I cast on. So my Gabe loves the beanies that kind of like Michael wears, where it's Michael from Piece for Piece Crafting, where it's rolled up above the ears, and just wears them all the time. And so I saw this Sandness Garn hat. I think it's called the Hipster, and I saw it on the online store called Mother Knitter, and so let's see if it's in fact called Hipster. Yep, Hipster beanie, Sandness Garn. So there's a few new patterns by Sandness Garn that are for men, and I actually really wanted to try the sweater, but I'm holding off till the new year. And then I'll maybe look at buying some of the Sandness Garn for a men's sweater for Donnie for a new version. But I've always loved Sandness Garn. I've used a variety of their yarn and I've always loved it. It's a great price point and I love how it feels, and it's a great, it's just, I love the yarn. Let's see if I have any of the labels. Probably not. So this is the Alpaca O Tweed, and it is 66% alpaca, 30% wool, and 4% acrylic. So wool, I guess, is wool. 66 alpaca, 30% wool, 4% acrylic. And it's like tweedy, like little tweedy bits. And the alpaca gives the fluff. But I love this. And it's held with just an alpaca, I believe. This is the same tweed label. It's held with, yep, 100% alpaca, which is kind of nice because it's not a suri, it's not a mohair. And so the strand is more like this. This is the yarn and they go together. And Mother Knitter has kits. So if you buy a Sandnes garn pattern, you're required to buy yarn. And so it's essentially Sandnes garn support. And so what it's coming out is this amazing version. And I have my Hello Lavender beautiful stitch markers on here. One's a marker because you do this edge here for the fold. So see how nicely it folds. And then I'm going to do it one more time. So this is what it looks like straight. And this is a gorgeous tubular cast on, which it takes a minute, but I really like the look. It was worth it for sure. And then again, this is what it looks like straight up, but this is the folded edge. So it'll be like this. And I am enjoying, it's like when you are knitting something and you savor every stitch because the stitches come out so beautifully. It is a twisted rib. So this is for Gabe, and I plan to make a black one as well, which I ordered the same yarn. It's this combo, but in blacks. So I'm pretty excited about that. And this is in my beautiful bag that I said the wrong name in the past. It's in my mountain bag by Rose and the Wren. And I think I said a different name last time, but oh, I love this. I use it so much. So it's a cool little mountain and it fits so much yarn. So that is the next thing I cast on, and I'm enjoying that fabric. It's so pretty. So I'm excited to see how that comes out and how it fits because there's some amazing colors, and I would make more of those with that yarn combo. Let's see. Okay, I think I'm coming towards the end, which is crazy short, but hopefully you had fun. I have been sewing a little bit. I don't have these to show you because I already gifted them. I made 2 of Noodlehead's pencil pouches. She has a beautiful blog with free tutorials and free patterns, and the pencil pouch is a free pattern. And so I'll put the finished products here. But what ended up happening after I did those pencil pouches, I did some quilt blocks, just some improv. So what I have is like this bag of just scraps, just any little bit that I really like that's left over from something. Usually a lot of these are kind of fun because they're from other quilts or from sewing kids clothes, but so I just essentially grab them and make little blocks. So I make a scrappy block and then I cut it to be 6 by 6. And then eventually I can put some white framing around it and put them all together, or make a pouch or make anything. But I really love, I think that's probably my favorite thing to do. And so it's just to make the random little quilt blocks and squares. But the 6 by 6 is nice size because then you can put, you'll put the sashing around it, that kind of thing. And then it'll make a great little quilt. Let's see, is there anything else? I don't think so. I think that's it. I think that it's short and sweet. I've been tempted to pick up a desert colorwork cowl. I thought it would be super cute for my mom who lives in Arizona. I've cast it on a DK and then rethought it and wasn't super excited about my color choices. So still thinking about the Pacifico knitters, like Colorwork. I have the deck, the desert deck, so I will still be thinking about that. I did finish a couple books. I finished, let's see, this one I finished so fast. Here One Moment by Leanne Moriarty. I actually started it on my way home from Rhinebeck. Jenny was listening to it and said it was so good, and it is. It gets you interested right away, which I love that kind because sometimes I get distracted and need to be pulled in. And then the other one I finished was The Lion Women of Tehran. I really enjoyed that as well. I had seen the Knitting Posse Kim recommend it, and it's really good, really, really good. So looking for a book right now, and I have travel games to take my middle son to play soccer this coming weekend, which I'll take the next sock. I don't have the other pair the other one next to me, but I finished the autumn sock from Le Garçon and Woolen and Nosh collaboration, which it's awesome. It's a little long for me, so I think the next one I did German twisted cast on. These are the US 0, which I think myself, Striping Vanillas from now on will be a US 0. But it's a 2x2 ribbing. And I think what I would do is actually, I think I need to eliminate maybe an inch for my next sock. So it'd be like this. But good to measure. So I love being able to see so many other colors. It's a fantastic base that Woolens and Nosh uses, and the colors are awesome. But I did receive the next month. The next month of Woolens and Nosh. And this one is October 2024, Fall Cozy Knit, tea books, candles, flannel, and wool socks. And her base is 90% Targhee and 10% nylon. And this is her label, and this is the beautiful colors. So I will wind this up for our trip, and I'll probably take the vest. I was actually hoping to have the vest in the round, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I'm excited for all the knits, all the makes. I definitely have the itch to sew more. So hopefully I can get time to do that and maybe make some pants, things like that. But I hope you have a great week. I hope you enjoy. I know a lot's happened in the past couple weeks in November 2024, but I'm thinking of all of you and hoping to continue to be kind and love on each other. But I hope you have a good one. See ya.